Hey guys, what's up? Chubbier Snail here, and I am making a video. Yay! Normally I upload my videos Saturday night, and they render overnight, and they're there for Sunday morning, but I wasn't in the mood last night to make a video, because I was exhausted. I went to bed at like 10ish, which is unheard of for me, on a Saturday. And the reason why I was so tired was because of the SATs I took earlier that day. For those of you who don't really know, the SATs are a test that you have to take in high school, that everyone has to take in high school, and it basically tells colleges how smart you are. If you're in the middle of the countries, you might have heard the ACTs, which is like the same thing as the SATs. Just like East and West Coast generally do SATs, center of the country does ACTs, but that's not even important. What is important though is I have a fun SAT story for you guys today about my extremely awesome experience at the exam center. That was sarcasm. It was not fun, and it was not an awesome experience. But let me tell you guys exactly how horrible my day went. So, Saturday morning, I woke up at 6 o'clock. Unheard of. If I wake up at 1 o'clock on a Saturday, that's early for me. So, 6 o'clock in the morning, I was not a happy customer. I'm not a morning person. Like, my mom would ask me what I want for breakfast, I growled at her. I was like, "Argh!" Yeah, not a morning person at all. And I got ready and whatnot. Brushed my teeth, because, you know, snails brush their teeth too. And we drove to the exam center, which was half an hour away. And that's not really horrible, but, yeah, not fun either. Then I walked in, and I saw a few of my friends there who were taking the test. And I asked them, how long is the exam going to be? Does anyone really know? One of them spoke up, and they were like, oh, it's only 3.5 hours. And I was like, only? It's only 3.5? Look, buddy, I don't know how long your tests normally take, but 3.5 hours is extremely long time for me. Like, I don't do 3.5 hours for anything, except for video games, but still, 3.5 hours is a long time to be taking a test. Spoiler alert, the test actually lasted 5 hours. Crap. So, they got worse there, but let me go in chronological order. Let me break it down piece by piece for you. So, we walk into the place, and we have to sign in and everything, give them our information, and they already have assigned seats for us, so they know exactly where we are supposed to be. They have our names on desks. My desk is the crappiest one there. And it's not one of the crappiest, it is literally the worst desk there. Like, everyone else had a nice two-table desk. Not two-seated desk, where two people would sit. It was long enough for everyone had a comfortable room. You know, it was very nice and spiffy and all shiny and polished. My desk looks like a student in high school made it in woodshop. It's splintery, it's rough, extremely small, and it wobbled every time I wrote. It would go like It would drives you insane, especially for 5.5 hours of test taking. That was absolutely crazy. But that's how I knew right away that my test was going to be horrible. Right there, I knew I'm going to do a horrible job. I'm not going to get into college because I'm going to get a 0 on the SATs. And the SATs are scored out of 2,400, so a 0 is like beyond terrible. If you put that into like 100%, that would be like 0% by like a lot. So it's really, really bad. But I digress, and to continue with the story, they gave instructions to a room full of about 200 people. It was a large room, there's a lot of people in there. And there's one lady, she was a little manly, and she gave really loud, manly instructions. And she was all like, blah, 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 I'm a man. And she told us a series of things to do. And it took her an hour to give the instructions. Now, I'm going to summarize everything she told us to do in about 10 seconds. She told us to bubble in our names, to write our names in English, like print them out. And she told us to print the date, and then there was a code on our test that we had to write down. That's it. That's all she had to say. If she said that, we would have been rolling right away. But no, it took her an hour to say that. And do you know why it took her an hour to say that? Because every 5 seconds, someone would interrupt her and be like, am I doing this right? Blah, blah, blah. And everyone in the room would look at that person, and they would hate them. And it'd be a death glare. Because how could you be so stupid to not know how to bubble your name in? I don't know. But to continue, it gets even worse. It gets worse, trust me. At one point, she was like saying something like, oh, you can't do this, or this, or you'll be like, your test won't count. And there's some basic stuff on there. There's like no texting, no using the phone or the internet, no talking to people, no looking off their tests, which is basic test stuff. Like, people know that. You don't need to say that. But then she says, no eating or drinking during the test. And if you do, your test will be terminated and you will be disqualified. So that's kind of basic too. But then I had a question, and my question was that I had Lifesavers mints. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of that, but eating mints while you take a test improves your score, apparently. I wanted to ask her if I could eat those, so I was like, "Excuse me, ma'am, can I have my mints? Is that legal? Will I be disqualified and terminated?" And she was like, "No!" But she didn't just say no. She waited 3 long seconds. 1, 2, 3. She let everyone in the room look at me, and she waited for them to all be looking. And her, like, manliest of voices, she's like, "No! No!" And that's it, and she looks away. So, right there, I already feel stupid. And as if it doesn't get any better, we start taking the test, and it's split into, like, 10 sections, and every 2 sections we got a break. So after the first 2 sections, we got a break, and then we went back, right? And she's like, "Oh, I forgot to say something originally at the beginning." And on the back of our test book, it was like an oath or something, and it's like, "Write this in cursive, like, write the oath over again and sign your name." And I was like, "Crap, don't remember cursive." And I was, haven't used cursive since third grade, so that's pretty bad. And I was thinking to myself, no matter how well I do on this test, I could fully be disqualified because I can't write cursive. That was really scary. So I sat there and had to think about it for like a minute, and I was like, alright, what am I going to do? So what I decided to do was write in normal printing, and then I was just going to have a line connect each letter, and hopefully that would pass as cursive. I don't know. And you'd think a straight-A high schooler would know how to write cursive, but apparently not. Didn't know what to do, so that was my solution. And then, I don't know, skip to the end of the test. I did pretty well on math, because math's easy, in my opinion. Like, they give you the equations, and then they just give you the problems, and you fill stuff into equations. They basically give you the answers, and you just write it down. That's what I think of math anyways. But the English was insane. And when I say insane, I mean most of that probably wasn't English. I've never heard of most of those words. Like, one of the types of questions they would do is, it'd be like, they'd give you a sentence, and it'd be one blank word, and they would be like A, B, C, and D, and you pick which one is right, like to fill in the word. For example, I walked my blank dog, and, you know, like, A would be like mollified, B would be like gregarious. Like, these aren't English words. I've never heard anyone who speaks this language say those, ever. And you know what I think? I definitely feel like there's people who make the test, right? They probably put fake words on there. Like, they're probably like, "Oh, I'm gonna make huffle puffle buffle," one of the words and one of the options. We'll see how many people answer this, how many stupid people there are. Ha ha ha, 8 people answered it. They call them up, "You're stupid." I guarantee you they've done that at least 20 times in this test, because there's almost no English words on there. It's crazy. So, I guessed in almost all the English. Hopefully my math will bring it up, though, because that didn't really go my way. Yeah, so that's my SAT exams. Again, it was 5 hours, not 3. Crazy. But thanks for watching. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. Chubby or Snail, signing out. Stay chubby.